A more detailed description is given in Webster's New World Dictionary. Idiom is a phrase construction or expression that is recognized as a unit in the uses of a given language and is either different from the usual syntactic pattern or has a meaning that differs from the literal meaning of its part taken together. Online Oxford English Dictionary defines an idiom as a group of words established by using and having a meaning not deducible from those of an individual words. Seem to act very much like a normal language, but they are quite different in many ways. It is been said that if natural language had been designed by a logician, idiom would not exist. Put as simple as possible, an idiom is a fixed expression whose meaning cannot be taken in combination of the meaning of its component part. Thus, the comparative meaning kick the bucket has nothing to do with either kicking or bucking, but meaning simply to die. Idioms are very important aspect of language and they should be included in the lexicon. Idioms are not frozen structure, less items. They do have significance internal structure, which is responsible for much of their behavior. You guys, what's up? I'm back with the most interesting topic again. The introduction is takes place in between this video just because I skipped the second part of idiom, so I placed it before and then starting with this video in between. Ferdinand de Saussure meaning. Ferdinand de Saussure in 1871 to 1913 was a Swiss linguist who had an enormous impact on the course of Western philosophy during the mid 20th century. He is widely considered the father of 20th century linguists, and his work laid the foundation for the approach known as structuralism. Ferdinand de Saussure was interested in languages early in his life. By the age 15, he had learned Greek, French, German, English, and Latin, and at that age, he also wrote an essay on languages. Saussure introduces the structuralist point of view into linguistics, which is marked first of all by giving the special relief to the synchronic dimension in the study of language. The synchronic dimension is distinct from the diachronic, that is historic. The idea is that an account of a present meaning of words and sentences, that is semantics, can't be reduced to historical study. This may seem obvious to us, but the study of linguistic meaning prior to Saussure had been historical, with concentration of structure limited largely to a consideration of grammar. The idea is that meaning or significance depends on the system of language, which constitute the relative systematic stability of linguistic meaning at the moment when in virtue of this system one speaks. So we have the distinction between lay lang and lang pirol. Saussure made what becomes a famous distinction between language and speech per role. Language for sort is a symbolic system through which we communicate, and speak refers to the actual utterance, since we can communicate an infinite number of utterances. It is the system behind them that is important. In his course, in general linguistics, which was compiled by his students, Saussure names the science of what constitutes science and laws that governs them as semiology. Since semiology deals with science and it covers psychology, sociology, and linguistics. The linguistic science is made up of the concept and a sound image. In a Saussure theory, language is mostly the means of social communication with the help of signs, where the linguistic sign, a word makes and defines the relationship between the audio image of the self of sound and the signifier. For instance, family. This is a separate spelling of the family, and the actual image or a signifier of a family is in the combination of these spelling family in our consciousness. This relationship, the bond between the signifier and the signifiers, is both arbitrary and necessary. Language is a link between thought and sound and mean for our thoughts to be expressed as sound. Thoughts have to become ordered and sound have to be articulated for language to occur. So Saussure says that the language is really borderland between thought and sound, where thought and sound combine to produce a communication. Spoken language introduces the communication of concept by means of sound image from the speaker to listener. Language is a product of the speaker communication of the signs to be listeners. Saussure says that a linguistic sign is a combination of the concept and sound image. The concept is what it signifies and the sound image is what is signifier. The combination of the signifier and the signifier is arbitrary. Arbitrary means temporary. That is, any sound image can conceivably be used to signify a particularly concept. A written work is an image of vocal sound, and the relationship between the linguistic sign can be either syntactic or association. Sassure defined that the linguistics is also concerned with the history of language and with the social or cultural influences that shape the development of language. Saussure distinguishes between diachronic and synchronic linguistic. Basically, synchronic is a static linguistic, and the diachronic mean evolutionary linguistic. Synchronic is the study of as a present time, and diachronic is the evolutionary or historical study of language. So, sure investigation of the Saccini gives us a clear and a concise presentation of the view that a language can be described in terms of structural unit. He explained that this structure aspects mean that a language also represents a system of value. Linguistic value can be viewed as a quality of the signifier, and or of the complete sign. So, this is the end of the video. I hope you like this video. Stay tuned for the more video. Thank you so much for your watching.